Good morning, guys. Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. I don't know about you guys, but when I woke up from the cult, I said I'm going to make it my personal mission to plant seeds and help other people wake up. And obviously, like I always speak about, you can't make anyone wake up. People have to wake up when they're ready. They have to want to wake up. They have to want to wake up. You can't force them to wake up, right? But I said this millions of times in my videos. But when I when I watched the black and white 1960s Twilight Zone, it is identical to being a Jehovah's Witness. And when you leave the witnesses, all you could look back. All you could do is look back at your family, your former friends, and you have nothing but sympathy and empathy for them because you know that they're wasting their lives, right? But it's the worst feeling. It's one of the worst feelings when you're being shunned for simply being honest, simply telling people the truth, about the religion. And it's sad that witnesses, they're not open-minded individuals. They're not open-minded individuals at all. But nonetheless, I'm still gonna do my part. I'm gonna do my part. I've been doing a lot of soul searching lately, and I had like one of those epiphany feelings. I realized that my entire life I pretty much been rejected my entire life, right? And there's a lot of people on this earth who would not endure the things that I've endured, the things that I've been through. Now, I'm not even exaggerating. I know we all go through stuff in life. Everybody has the ups and downs, right? I get that, but I've been through some shit in life. It's like, whoa, you can make a movie out of this. Like, this will happen to the average Joe. But I realized lately that I was put on this earth to do my part to help people one way or another, whether it's just with helping people wake up and do the research from the Jehovah's Witnesses, or just help people in general. Because I know how it feels to be at your lowest. I know how it feels to be unwanted. I know how it feels to be unloved. I know how it feels to be lost in this life. And I tell you this, I don't want anyone, I would not wish that for my worst enemy. But anyway, like I was saying, my entire life I've been, in a way, the reject, the outcast, the black sheep, the unwanted, Mr. Peculiar. I've been that guy, right? And I'm now in my late 30s, so me being rejected is nothing to me. The majority of Jehovah's Witnesses, they can't deal with rejection. That's why no one wants to be the fellowship, because you're isolated, you're shunned. But little do people know, when you're isolated and shunned, those are the times when you grow. I grew in my darkness. I know how it feels to be isolated, shunned, unloved. Like I said, I've been like this the majority of my life. Yes, I have an abundance of friends, but the majority of my life I've been Mr. Solo, I guess you could say. I've been independent, pretty much been on my own. So when it comes to speaking about the Jehovah's Witnesses, I already knew I was going to have critics. I already knew I already knew my family and friends were going to shun me. I already knew this. However, I realized lately I was not put on this earth to be loved. I was put on this earth to give love. I was put on this earth to help other people. And for the longest, I'm throwing myself under the bus. But you guys know I'm always gonna keep it a buck. I'm always gonna keep it real. For the longest, I've been searching for love, searching for acceptance from others. And I realized lately, that's not my destiny. That's not my journey. Not everyone on this planet finds the love that they want. This life is not fair, as we know, right? So I said to myself, as long as I'm alive, I'm gonna do my part and help other people to hopefully do their research so that they can wake up on their own. But I'm gonna keep planting my seeds because people are starting to email me. People are commenting on my videos, leaving comments on social media, whatnot, telling me that there are, my work is, that witnesses are watching my videos. So, before I pass away, before I leave this earth, whether that day is tomorrow or 50 years from now, whenever I leave this earth, I want to leave this earth knowing that I did something right. I want to leave this earth knowing that I helped in some type of way. But going back to the Jehovah's Witnesses, it is a Twilight Zone cluster of fuck, as I always say. It is a Twilight Zone cluster of fuck when when you're being shunned simply because you see things from a different perspectives, because you don't agree with your Jehovah's Witness parents, your Jehovah's Witness friends about religious matters, because you don't believe that the governing body leaders really are inspired by God. You are now shunned. And then when you try to encourage a Jehovah's Witness to be open-minded, when you encourage them to do their research, they get mad at you. They do the whole, oh, you're starting to sound like an apostate. Why are you asking questions? Why are you doubting the governing body leaders? Why? When in reality, the Jehovah's Witnesses, every Jehovah's Witness should be asking questions. Every Jehovah's Witness should be having doubts. I don't get it. It's like these witnesses, they just throwing their lives away on a false hope. They're having blind faith for something that they can't even prove is bound to happen. And then no one is saying to themselves, oh, what if this religion is not true and I live to be in my 80s or 90s and I slaved for this organization, never saw paradise, and I eventually just die. Meanwhile, my entire life, I was slaving for other people and I never got to enjoy my life. This is why more and more people need to continue to speak out against the organization, because it's a corrupt organization. Like I said, I don't care about being shunned. I'm somebody, I would rather people hate me for being real instead of love me for being fake. I don't do that fake nonsense. The minute I did my research, I realized that this organization, this religion was a lie. I said, fuck this, I'm out of there. And not only am I out of here, but I'm going to plant seeds and help other people to realize that this is not the truth. You could call me an apostate, you could block me, unfriend me, shun me, you could do whatever you got to do. At the end of the day, I'm not going to go along with the crowd. Meanwhile, I know deep down inside, I already know this is not the true religion. And instead of focusing what the true religion is, how about we just live our lives? We're only here on this planet for a short period of time. How about just live your life? Instead, Jehovah's Witnesses, they're letting governing body leaders, people who are not even inspired by men, dictate every aspect of their lives. I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. But I'm going to keep speaking out. I'm going to keep making my videos. Because I want people to live their lives freely. I want Jehovah's Witnesses to live their lives authentically. We only got one shot. We only got one shot on this trip, this journey of life. I am not wasting this. And neither should any witness. So, I'm grateful and I'm thankful that more and more people are starting to make videos, starting to produce content online. It's about time. It's about time that the public become more and more aware of this toxic cult and what it's doing. It's destroying people's lives. It's making people unalive themselves. It's making people drink. It's making people do drugs. It's dividing families. So yes, it's time that more and more people continue to speak about the Jehovah's Witnesses. Not to bash them. We're not here to bash them, but we're here to give them the real truth about their organization. And they can only get the real truth outside excuse me, outside of jw.org. If you're a Jehovah's Witness watching this video, if you truly believe in your heart that you have the truth, then why are your governing body leaders telling you not to look at information online, not to go on YouTube, not to go on Google? Why is that the case? Because they obviously have something to hide. You got something to hide. And I'm not a mentally ill, evil apostate. Do I sound bitter? I lost my family because I decided that standing up for what's right is more important than keeping JW family and friends who really don't love me. The love is conditional. The love is superficial, it's fake. All I did was expose, when I left the cult and I told people, I encouraged witnesses to do their research, all they did was expose to me, oh, Teron, we don't really love you. We're not your real friends. So now I know who my real friends are, and now I know who my real friends aren't. It was a win-win. People who showed me their true colors. All because I encouraged them to do their research, because I don't want them to waste their life waiting on a paradise that's never going to happen. I got shunned for doing the right thing. Meanwhile, if I was fake, if I was superficial, if I commented at the meetings, if I went out in service, even if I didn't believe none of it, I would still have my family and my life if I was fake. But yet, I decided to be real. And I lost my JW family and friends. But it's A-okay. It's A-okay. I am enjoying my precious life on this journey. The short journey that we have. Like I said, we're only here for 70, 80 years, so we got to live our lives, guys. Live our lives. Anyway, I'm going to end this video, but more and more people are coming out on YouTube. I love it. And more people will continue to wake up as time passes, because people are starting to question this organization. They're starting to have serious doubts. So more and more people will continue to wake up eventually as time passes. And I love it. I love it. It's about time. Anyway, guys, I love you. I'll see you on the next one.